Hey guys, so before we get started with today's video, I wanted to just say happy Valentine's Day because when I'm filming this, it is Valentine's Day and I'm actually celebrating Valentine's Day on my own because I am wearing this red flannel, which, hello, red Valentine, and
my muscle tee has some roses on it, so I'm feeling very festive without looking like, wow, she doesn't have a Valentine and she's wearing red. No.
So, on today's video, I will be telling you guys my scoliosis experience. So, most of you probably don't even know this, but I did have scoliosis, and I've been having it since like 7th grade maybe. That's when I was diagnosed. I wrote down everything that I've been through and like all those things in my notes because I know I'll forget if I don't write it down and I just talk randomly. So I'm just gonna start off like first day. So in August of 2011, I was in my physical, and basically my doctor told me to like go forward. I know like everyone has to do this, and like touch your toes, and then she was like, something's wrong with her. It's probably scoliosis, but we're not gonna get ourselves ahead. And then I was sent to like another place. I was sent to an orthopedic doctor, and he was just gonna do some tests and x-rays, and yeah, I had scoliosis. So then I was sent to Children's Hospital, which is honestly the best hospital I've ever been to. In Children's Hospital, I was given a brace, and basically like, it's like, if you go on Google you can probably see it, but it's this big plastic, not big actually, it's very small. They like take your measurements and they do it like one size below your measurements. It's so tight. Like when I first saw mine, I was like, how am I gonna fit in this? Like, this is not possible. It's extremely tight, it's extremely hard, and it's made to push your what's it called, your spine straight. So it's very painful, it's very uncomfortable. The doctor told me that I had to wear it 18 hours a day, and then raise it up to 23. So basically I had 1 hour free out of this thing, which was to shower. So when I first got it, they told me, okay, wear it for 4 hours, rest for 2 hours, wear it for another 4 hours, rest for 2 hours, and then 6 hours, and then 12 hours until I got to my 23 hours. And this was just crazy for me. It's so painful. The braces, they're pretty fun, I guess, because you could pick out a pattern. You could have cheetah, zebra, colors, whatever. At that point, I was really, really mad and sad about it. Like, I was like, why do I have to wear this? Whatever. And I was like, I don't care. I want it white. I want my normal color, whatever. And they were like, are you sure? But no, I wanted the white one. And then when I got my second one, I did ask for a pink one because I was a little bit more like, okay, this is what I have to do. There's nothing I could do to like not wear it or anything or just avoid it. I'm just gonna go with it and try to make the best out of it. So I did get a pink one, and let's see. So I got a pink one, and that one fit my body a little bit more. It was more comfortable. It was still like not really comfortable because no matter what brace you have, it's not going to be the best thing, you know. Mine was more comfortable, and I was like more used to it and more used to the idea of having one. As far as school goes, I didn't get bullied for it. I didn't get like harassed, but people did want to see it. People asked me about it, which was very, very annoying. I would just rather have my friends not ask about it than ask about it all the time. People, just like random people, came up to me like, oh, you have a brace? Like, no, like, don't, please. And basically for my clothing, like I saw so many YouTube videos with like fashion, you know, clothing that people used to wear, that people wore like to look good in it, and I didn't want to do that. So for about 2 months, all I wore to school were sweatpants and hoodies. And I've always been super girly. I've always loved fashion. I've always loved dressing up. So for me, that was like super hard to take in. Like, from one minute I'm dressing pretty or however I like to be dressed, and then the next I'm just wearing sweatpants and hoodies and all these super not fashionable things. So like at that point I was like, I can't do this anymore. I told my mom that it was hurting too much to wear to school. One day I even wore it to school, and I called her because it was just too painful. It was very painful, but I think I could have probably like stuck to it, but I was just too stubborn and I didn't want to. So I never wore it. I wore it to sleep, and then it was like so uncomfortable that in my sleep I would take it off and I wouldn't even know I had it off. And I would wake up and I wouldn't have it on because I took it off while I was sleeping. So for me, like, it was like so bad. I used to sometimes think about it. I was like, okay, I need to wear it, and I wore it for like an hour and then I didn't wear it again. And then a year later, December of 2012, my doctor was like, okay, this thing is not working for you. I mean, supposedly I did wear it. I told him I wore it because, like, I didn't want to tell him I didn't. So he told me, okay, this is not working for you. Our next option is surgery. And by the way, guys, I had 2 curves. One of them was 45 degrees and the other one was 55 degrees. I really don't remember that much, I'm sorry, but yeah, one of them was 55 degrees and the other one was 45, which it's pretty bad. Like, I used to read online and it was like, oh, you have over 25, you need to get surgery. For me, they didn't do that. They were like, okay, have a brace. And my parents were like scaring me to death about surgery. Like, just so I could wear the brace, they would be like, okay, like, you're not gonna be able to walk after surgery, and they used to tell me all these tragic things, and it was like, oh my god. So I did do my own research to it, and it did look very painful and hard, and I was very scared, but that was the best option for me because I didn't want to wear the brace. I wasn't gonna wear it, and surgery would only take like 2 months or something. And the doctor did say, like, oh, it's like one year recovery, 1 year in bed. Like, people were just trying to scare me so much, but I still wanted surgery. So the doctor said, okay, our other option is surgery. Like, do you want to keep going with the brace and then maybe see if it works? And in the back of my mind, I knew it's not gonna work. It's just gonna get worse because I'm not going to wear the brace. So I did opted for surgery, and my surgery was scheduled February 15th, which is tomorrow, like last year. So I've had surgery for 1 year now, and it's crazy, honestly. I had surgery, and the surgery took 7 hours, which is a lot. Like, I never knew anything about surgeries, but then after my surgery, I just started hearing about all these different surgeries, and they were all like 2 hours, 1 hour, 3 hours, and mine was 7 hours, which is so much. I couldn't eat anything like 2 days after surgery, and every 2 hours a nurse used to come into my room and they used to like shift me from side to side because I had to be like moving since my spine had just gone through all those things. I did have to get moved around, which was so painful. I had a little button where I would press if I was feeling painful, so they would put more medicine in me, and it was like measured so I wouldn't like overdose, but it was like so painful to get moved around. I spent 4 days in the hospital. The like time that usually people spend in the hospital was 6 days, I believe, and I only stayed there for 4 days, which was pretty good. And all of my doctors were just like, they were surprised that I was only there for 4 days. I really wanted to get out of there and just continue with my life, so I did kind of work hard to get better. And I used to go to the gym a lot back then, so my doctors definitely said that helped because I was active, so I was kind of strong, and I was very flexible as well. Right now I'm not that flexible, I'm still working on it, but definitely surgery took away a lot of flexibility from me. Afterwards, when I was home, my mom got me a recliner, and that definitely helped a lot because I kept like going up and down and from it, and it definitely helped. I was like, okay, at the time I was very lonely. I had to stay in my room for like all day long till my sister got home, and my sister was pretty good about it. She gave me company, and Thank you. As far as the work, actually, I did get a tutor because I was going to be in school for 6 weeks. So a college student used to come and he used to bring me my work, and then I used to do my work and ask him if I needed it for help. That wasn't very helpful, honestly, like, I'm sorry, but he was just always on his phone, which was pretty funny, and it was like so awkward. It was 1 hour sitting there in my living room just having someone just like stare at me doing my work or just on his phone. So it was really awkward, and I never asked him for help. And he only came to my house twice because I did try to work really hard to get better, and I actually ended up going to school 4 weeks after surgery, which is super impressive because people usually last from 6 to 3 months at home. And yeah, and then I just went back to school again. People asked about it. At that point I didn't mind. I was used to it. I showed everyone my scar. They were like so grossed out by it, but I was like, seriously, like, it's just a scar. And nothing really happened to me at school, like bullying or anything. That was never an issue for me after surgery. As far as like physical activities, they told me I had to take it easy for 6 months, so I couldn't join any sports, nothing for 6 months. And I actually started going to the gym again after only 4 weeks of surgery, after surgery. So that was really bad of me. I don't recommend that at all. Like, I was so irresponsible for doing that because I could have hurt myself really badly, and I was not supposed to be doing that. So as far as the scar, I couldn't expose it to the sun for a year, and I was pretty good on that. That was like the one thing that I actually followed through most of the time. I used to wear sunscreen on it like every time that I was going out. My mom used to put a special tape on it so that the sun wouldn't hit it, and I was just really good about it. I used to put my hair on it, and I used to wear shirts that didn't expose it. So as far as that, I was really good about it. And then I used to use Mederma, which I think it helped, honestly. My scar, like, you could barely see it. It's just like a white line, and I'm really happy with my scar. It's nothing that I'm ashamed of. Before, I thought that my whole life was ruined. I was gonna have this huge scar, and it was gonna be super ugly, and my life was gonna be horrible. But it wasn't, guys. If you're gonna get surgery and you're worried about it, don't worry about it, because like, you're not gonna think about it. After a year, even after a month of it, I never thought about my scar anymore. In the summertime, yeah, it was kind of like, ooh, like, should I take out my bathing suit? But once you do that, no one cares. Like, no one is constantly looking at it or like making fun of you for it, unless that person really hates you or is jealous of you. Yeah, they might like make fun of you, but I've never heard of that, and I was never made fun of by it. Again, you are gonna get the questions about it. Don't worry, it's normal. I got my questions, and it gets annoying at one point, but it's like whatever afterwards. And just don't be scared. Like, I never even think about scoliosis anymore. It used to be such, like, it used to take away so much from me, and I used to be so insecure about it, and I'm just so mad at myself for being so insecure about it and worried about it, because it's nothing. I'm very lucky to have had the results that I have now, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, because 1 year later, honestly, it's nothing. I did crew, I did track. I did quit track because track was like not for me, but I did do crew. Crew is like such a hard sport. People think it's a really hard sport, and yeah, it's kind of hard. And even though I did have surgery, I did do it, and I never had any problems with it. I'm not as flexible as I used to be before, but I've been doing exercises every single day, and I'm just getting back into it. Sometimes I do get pinches and pains, but it's like nothing really. It doesn't happen often, like maybe once a week, and it's not bad at all. It's like for 2 seconds. That is it for my whole scoliosis experience. If I have any pictures, I will put them right now, but I was just so insecure about it that I never took pictures of it or anything, so I will try to find some pictures, but if I don't, I'm sorry. And yeah, so that is all my experience and all, you know, everything that I had to talk about. I'm sorry if this video was not like structured at all, like I was just all over the place, but yeah, I'll see you guys later.